इतना टाइम हो गया, अभी और कितना वेट करना पड़ेगा, एंड
Wait for what?
wait for the ultimate goal. Every athlete wants an
Okay.
Olympic medal. It's a detachment policy that I follow because it helps me better to get out of the situation. So when I'm feeling low, I just listen to some good music and it won't take much time. I have an advantage, but at the same time I also feel it as a responsibility.
True.
That if they are providing me with everything, so I need to make sure that okay, I need to do something for my country. And
Do you feel like giving up ever?
yeah, there are times, not just me, I think every
Okay.
athlete once in his athletics career.
Right. Niharika, welcome to the Jantak show.
Thank you.
So the way I start my conversation, I ask जो question में सबसे ज़्यादा curious होता ना to ask my guest. So I want to ask you right before you start your run, what are your thoughts? Like, what do you think कि हाँ अभी मेरा run है? So do you get random thoughts? Like, what are your thoughts exactly at that point?
Actually, we get a lot of thoughts before our competitions, or
Okay.
what you will say. So it's very important to control our thoughts at that time, because the more I think about it, the more nervous I get and the more stress I get. So yeah, I get all sort of thoughts like, okay, मेरा performance कैसा जाएगा, मैं I have worked so hard. What if? And the most the thought that comes out the most is कि मेरा कहीं फाउल ना हो जाए जंप, बिकॉज
Oh, yes.
हमारा इवेंट जो है लॉन्ग जंप एंड ट्रिपल जंप, इट्स वेरी प्रोन टू इफ यू गेट अ फाउल जंप, सो नो मैटर आपने कितना अच्छा लगाया हो, दैट वोंट काउंट. सो आई हैव टू मेक श्योर कि मेरा रनवे ठीक हो एंड ये हो. बट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आई try to control my mind as much as I can. I control my thoughts and I'm like, okay, everything's gonna be fine. You've practiced hard. It's time to just relax and get over all your thoughts, whatever they are coming. So yeah, that is how I control my mind.
Is there any technique that you follow to make sure कि you don't have a lot of thoughts in your mind? How do you clear your head? I think that would be an apt
Well, I
question.
try to distract myself
Okay.
as much as I can. So yeah, what I do is have some good chocolates, or watch some good TV, or listen to some good music. So that is how I try to distract myself. I try कि okay ठीक है, जितना हो सके try not to think about the competition, and जो भी होगा देखा जाएगा. So yeah.
Right. So Niharika, I believe there are a lot of like your fitness regime, your physical fitness regime. I think it's out there on social media. But I want to talk a bit about your mental health. Like, how do you train yourself, especially in terms of being athletic? How do you, like, what's your motivation and what's the kind of mindset you start your journey with?
All right, so it's been almost 10 years that I'm into athletics, and I'm training professionally. So there are times that when I get these thoughts and I get this thing कि इतना टाइम हो गया, अभी और कितना वेट करना पड़ेगा, and
Wait for what?
wait for the ultimate goal. Every athlete wants an
Okay.
Olympic medal.
Okay.
So that is the ultimate goal of any athlete. So अभी और कितना वेट करना पड़ेगा. In fact, I had my first national medal after 8 years of training.
Right.
My first senior national medal.
Yeah.
So all these kind of things used to come कि मेरे साथ वाले जो हैं वो successful हो रहे हैं, वो आगे जा रहे हैं, and I am working equally hard, but why not me? Why am I not getting a national medal or an international debut? So why am I not? So those times my father and my coach supported me a lot, and they were like, sabka, everybody has their own rhythm, everybody has their own body, and the body responds differently with each athlete. The performance, there's this time जो सबका अलग आता है, कईयों की
Okay.
कभी पहले परफॉर्मेंस आती, कईयों की बाद में. So what you need to do is just train yourself, and regardless of whatever is happening, forget about the performance, just train towards achieving that excellence, just train towards, ki, okay, I have to figure this, I have to attain this thing. Like, for example, if I am jumping a hop of 4.5 meters, so my ultimate goal should be, okay, if I have to improve it, I have to work continuously on improving my hop to 4.8 or 5 meters. Forget about the whole triple jump, just focus on your
that part of the
that
jump.
part of the jump.
Yeah.
And ultimately वो bits and वो
Yeah, bits and
सब pieces join, okay, and then you'll get it.
Do you believe them? Do you believe your dad and coach when this? Because होता क्या है कि lot of times we seek external validation, right? जो questions होते हैं कि मैं successful क्यों नहीं हो रहा? My peers, they are doing really well. Why am I not getting, whatever I'm chasing?
Right.
तो a lot of times we find external validation कि हाँ यार, मतलब हम वो सुनते हैं जो हम सुनना चाहते हैं.
Right.
But do you believe when your dad and coach tell you that?
Absolutely, I do believe them, because obviously they are much more experienced than me. They have seen the world and they know how things work, right? So there are times when I doubt myself. Okay, maybe I wouldn't make it. Maybe I cannot do it. But that is when I trust my coach and my father, saying it's okay. We've seen people, we've seen athletes. You've got it in you, and you need to just regardless of any negative thoughts, you just need to keep going. So yeah, that helps me a lot.
And what do you tell yourself after the pep talk or after the coaching session by your dad and your coach? What do you tell yourself?
Well, it gives me a lot of motivation, and I, believe, okay, if they are so senior, and then they are so experienced. If they are saying this, then ज़रूर मेरे में कुछ है. So I need to pick myself up from all the downfalls, and I need to keep on going and keep on going. So yeah, that is how I tell myself. To keep
That's
going.
very interesting. Niharika, is there something that you have learned on the field but that you also apply off the field?
Well, talking about quality of a sports person, I think sports has taught me a lot of discipline in life. There is a schedule that I follow, that okay, I have to wake up at 5,
Okay.
do my practice, do workouts, and then come back, eat clean, and take proper rest and recovery. So even if when I'm not working out, in times when I'm not able to work out, so the schedule that I've learned, so it follows regardlessly. I follow that pattern, and I just keep myself activated. ये नहीं है कि okay, अगर अभी में हमारा कोई वर्कआउट नहीं है, so I go back home, sleep, and do. I will stay active in other activities too. So I'll keep myself busy with something. So that sports has taught me a lot of
Discipline.
discipline and how to keep yourself active.
So you talked about eating clean, right? Do you get those days where you binge eat or you eat trash?
Well, there are times, but
Okay.
the thing is, if you are doing something in a continuous motion, if you are eating, okay, so there's a pattern going on. Whenever I'm working out, I make sure that I eat well and I eat clean, because that is how I am going to get my performance. Yeah, there are times I have a really big sweet tooth. I am, and the irony is that my sister is a baker.
Okay.
So
I think that's very destructive
yeah,
place
that
to be.
yeah, that's exactly. So every day I have to every day I have to keep myself okay distracted. I have to keep myself okay, आज नहीं खाने,
Resist करने
जो
को तो।
मर्जी वो बना ले, resist करना ही है. But after a time, when you all this process of resistance, the point comes when you actually don't need to try.
Yeah,
So yeah, but yeah, there are times when I eat when I feel like, when I'm stressed, or when I'm feeling low, and that's okay to have it in a while or so.
How do you align yourself when you're, let's say, feeling low, or when you're feeling negative emotions?
Right.
How do you align yourself back on track?
Well, as I told you, I am I am a type of person who gets through things. I don't attach myself.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't attach to all these lows and highs very much. It's a detachment policy that I follow because it helps me, better to get out of the situation. So when I'm, feeling low, I just listen to some good music, and it won't take much time to, get over that thing. I won't like sit back and get, keep feeling that. I just, I watch a good movie or eat something good, and yeah, that is how it goes. I don't get involved in that very much. I just do all sort of random stuff, and then I get out of it.
So you talked about getting an Olympic medal,
Yeah.
and so from your Instagram I know you went to Italy to represent India, right?
Yes, right.
I'm sure you must have had a chance to talk to people from other countries.
Yes, right.
So what's the difference? Because Niharika, I see, let's say the medal tally of Olympics, India does not get a lot of medals, right?
Right.
Let's say in China gets a lot of them.
Right.
So what is the difference in the kind of food they eat, and the kind of training process they have? So what's the difference? Have you noticed any difference between your training and your nutrition and the training and nutrition of other people, other athletes?
When I went to Italy, they were on some other level, the level that we've never seen in India. The kind of facilities, the kind of food that they gave us, we had never ever seen it in India, that kind of nutrition and that kind of facilities. So yeah, somewhat it gets very overwhelming for an Indian when he goes abroad to get through all these things. For example, the track where they made us train and all those workout stuff. So we don't have those tracks in India.
Oh.
Yeah, the track was entirely different. It is called a Mondo track.
Okay.
And we don't have not even a single Mondo track in India. So it gets very difficult to, get on the track and to get the same rhythm as we get on synthetic tracks that are in India. So yeah, sometimes it happens like that, you just cannot get on the flow, you just can't get it. And talking about the food that they provided us, it was like we've never ever seen that kind of nutrition in India. So we didn't even know what to eat, what not to, because half of the food items we didn't even know about.
Yeah.
Okay, something like that, they do exist. Yeah. So it gets, as I told you, it gets very overwhelming, and it's very hard to adjust yourself in such a short span of time. You just get just like 2, 3, 4, 5 days before competitions, and we cannot adjust to the climate, the facilities, and because we are not used to those facilities. So that is maybe we need some more international exposure or those kind of facilities and nutrition that provide us. So whenever in fact, for a first timer, if then he goes out for a competition or anything, that doesn't get so overwhelming or affecting the performance. So yeah.
So you told ki they were like 4 or 5 days before the event.
Yeah.
So how were your those 4 or 5 days? Because I'm sure you must have seen ki athletes from different countries, they were really good in terms of
Yes, right.
the training and the track. Even we
Right.
did not have those kind of tracks in
Right,
India.
right.
So did you feel anxious, or what were your feelings in those 4 or 5 days when you got to know this fact ki it's very different from what we have in India?
Yeah, that as I told you, yeah, I did got anxious. I did get anxious, and I like just by looking at those athletes, they were so strongly built. Not that we are any less, but that mental blockage comes into my that they've already they've already been through this, and they've already been practiced with all those facilities and had all those kind of food. So yeah, it got me a little anxious ki okay, then they might know better than me, so that the mental blockage comes with, and we are sometimes not even that confident to go and talk to them. So yeah, I think, as I told you, international exposure is really important, and in fact bringing all those facilities to India, if we'll get used to it, then maybe we can perform better.
So I'm going to, because so there's a question that arises from your answer, is about bias, because you told that you were, you know, not very confident to talk to athletes from other
Yeah.
countries.
Right.
And I'll take an example of cricket, right? So there are like top 3, 4, 5 teams that are, you know, like that are on the tier 1 of cricket, like, let's say England, Australia, India, and then Sri Lanka, Pakistan, right? And then there are countries like Bangladesh, Zimbabwe, probably West Indies as well right now. They, like, you know, they are like tier 2 and tier 3 uh, cricket playing nations, right? And then they they come across a lot of biases from everywhere, like audience, like the spectators and the board, the International Cricket Council, all of these. So
Right.
you, as like when you were representing India, did
Right.
you feel any kind of negative bias towards you from your co-athletes, from the board that was organizing that? And if yes, how did you cope up?
No, I did not feel any biasness from the external, any external person or any, but there's, as I told you, inferiority complex comes
Oh,
within.
yeah.
So, if you can deal with the biasness that comes externally, but what will you do when it comes internally? So, yeah, I think we need to work on that a lot. And talking about the biasness from any other in terms of athletics, I cannot say we face that, because it's a performance oriented.
Yeah.
It's, you can measure the performance, and we know, okay, whosoever is having a type of performance, or he's standing there, we actually know where he's standing, he or she is standing, because you can measure his performance. When
Yeah.
I triple jump, okay, I'm jumping 13 meters, and a girl from, let's say, USA is jumping 14 meters. So we know, okay, where I
Yeah.
stand and where she stands. So it's not like, okay, we'll feel any biasness, but we just know we need to work harder. Yeah.
और इंडिया के अंदर do you feel any like gender bias in terms of the resources you get, or in terms of the publicity, the PR that a, let's say, woman athlete and a male athlete gets?
I wouldn't say, well, coming to athletics, we do not face any biasness. But yeah, if we talk about other sports compared to athletics,
Yeah.
we do feel a little, because, athletics hasn't been as commercialized as other sports. So I think we just need a little more exposure, and we just need to popularize it a little more, just to compete with other sports like cricket and badminton. Since they've exposed to public
Yeah.
so much, the track and field track and field game, it's not that exposed. So yeah.
So Niharika, I'm not going to beat around the bush for this question. You are a pretty woman, right?
Thank
Do you feel, or have you faced any unfair advantage given to you because of your your physical attributes?
Well, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because as I told you, it doesn't happen. Then I have not faced anything like that. Even though I'm jumping a little less than some other athlete who is not, what do
Not
we
as
say?
pretty as you.
Yeah. But yeah, I won't face, okay, she's pretty, तो इसका jump हम बढ़ा देते हैं. ऐसे
Oh, yeah,
it just
that's-
doesn't happen. So yeah, but I do, people do say me that you are pretty, why don't you just go to some other, why don't you do some modeling, or
Okay.
why don't you just go to Bollywood?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't just people they see a pretty woman in a sport, yeah, like they can they can perform equally well. So yeah, I don't think people are very, they have this mindset, okay, if she's a sports person or she's an athlete, then she ought to be, okay, she should be average. So yeah, I want to break that kind of stereotypes, that okay, you can see pretty women and doing well in field of sports as well.
So your Instagram hashtag is break the stereotype, and you
Yeah.
want to break a lot of stereotypes.
Yeah.
But what are the other stereotypes that you actually want to break?
All right. So yeah. So there are so many stereotypes I'm talking about here. One is the this factor that we just talked about, that a pretty woman cannot do sports. That is
Yeah.
one stereotype I want to break. And the other one is they people also have this misconception because of the obvious reasons that most of the sports person, they are not well educated, or they feel like okay, अगर वो पढ़ाई नहीं कर पा रहे हैं तब वो sports join कर
Yeah,
लेते हैं.
yeah.
But I want to make sure that okay, if you can be well qualified as well as you can perform well in the field of sports. So I want to I want to break that kind of stereotype, okay, that a well educated person can do well in sports as well.
So Niharika, like, because you're following your passion, right? I think it's a privilege where you get to follow your passion. Like, you're not responsible to put food on your plate, on someone else's plate, right? So do you acknowledge your privileges? Like, that's the first question. Second, I want to talk about the financial privilege. Do you think you're financially privileged? And then what's the financial aspect? Like, what are the expenses of, let's say, a person wants to get into athletics? What are the financial aspects of it? What's the revenue and what are the expenses?
All right. So first thing, I am very grateful for having such a supportive family and also well financially stable, that I am able to follow my passion, and I'm able to get my passion as
Yeah.
my career. So yeah, there's never this thing is never in my mind that okay, today I'm not going to get enough food,
Yeah.
or I won't be able to buy my supplements
True,
and
true,
stuff,
true.
because my family has been very supportive and also very financially stable. So yeah, I think I have an advantage, but at the same time I also feel it as a responsibility.
True.
That if they are providing me with everything, so I need to make sure that okay, I need to do something for my country and perform at a good level. So I need to utilize all those things for my achievements and follow my passion. So yeah, I feel really privileged about that. And talking about the financial aspects, when you come in athletics is a very demanding sport. Actually, it's what do we call it, it is the mother and the father of all sports, because
Okay.
you need the ultimate fitness to get into athletics, and all those things need a proper nutrition as well. So yeah, we need to make sure that we are fully recovered for the other session, and we get good supplements for ourselves, because they play a major role in getting the performance. So yeah, monthly expenses is around what do we call 20 to 25,000 per month is required if you want to be a professional athlete in terms of nutrition.
Okay.
So I feel some people who are not as much as privileged as me have to struggle a lot about the diet and stuff, but yeah, even if they are dedicated, and if they if they perform well irrespectively, so yeah, they get into these national camps, and they make sure that they get all those facilities and nutrition what they are required. So yeah.
Is there something that you don't like about athletics, like not the like the physical part, but whatever, let's say, the negative connotations that come with it, or like the pressure, or the like expectations of the people? If there's something that you don't like.
Athletics is all about patience.
Okay.
You need to be very patient. And
Patient.
as I told you, it's been 10 years since I'm into athletics, and I've been very patient. Or what do we say? The process has taught me how to be patient.
Yeah.
Because, the body needs to be ready for it. You cannot the performance doesn't come just okay, today you are jumping like 10 meters and tomorrow you'll jump, or maybe after an year you'll jump 14 meters. It's a gradual process. Yeah, you know, what do we call athletes? They are lambi race ke ghode. So yeah, it's a gradual process, and you have to wait for the, you know, consistent performance, and you have to wait for that. So the process sometimes gets so tiring that, you know, mentally you have to every year you have to prepare yourself mentally so much ki okay, it's coming, it's coming. So yeah, it does take a lot of time. So yeah, that thing I just don't like, but it's fine. Like I know one day I'm going to get what I want. So yeah, that is all worth it.
Do you feel like giving up ever?
Yeah, there are times, not just me. I think every
Everyone.
athlete once in his, you know, athletics career might have felt, okay, I want to give up. I cannot do it anymore. You know, there must be several reasons, some injury reason or financial reason. But that is a really sensitive point, and that is a very sensitive part of an athlete's life. And if he's able to get through it, then, you know, there's if he's able to, you know, resist that point in his life, then definitely he's going to get further, and he's going to get. But that is a really sensitive part, and one really needs to be really mentally tough to get through that part. So yeah.
So you told you have had those points.
Yeah.
What got you going?
Well, again, I had this, you know, mental breakdown. What do we call, in maybe 2-3 years back?
Okay.
I was, as I told you, it took me 8 years to get a national medal. So right before that, I felt like just giving up, because I was going to the nationals and I was always, you know, getting this 4th position and 5th position, and I was just missing the podium by 2-3 centimeters, you'll say. So I felt like, okay, now this I don't know how to get over this 4th position and come to 3rd or 2nd or 1st. So that at that point of time I felt like really giving up, कि नहीं, मैं मुझसे और नहीं होगा. But again, my coach and my father, they are like a really big support. They knew that you know, the performance is just about to come, and she just cannot give up right before it comes. So yeah, I somehow managed to get through that, and then finally I got an national medal and got a chance to represent India, and I was really grateful and happy for not giving up at that point. So, yeah.
I think it's a good lesson. So there's a quote that whenever you feel like giving up, that's the point exactly after you get success.
Right.
Like
absolutely.
that's like you get success just after that point.
Right.
Niharika, so you told that you were on the 4th position for a very long, like you're missing the podium by 2-3 centimeters.
Yes.
Did you like used to compare yourself with people who were on the podium? And like the question is basically, were you comparing yourself with your co-athletes?
Yeah, definitely. You know, every athlete compares, you know, himself or herself with other athletes. They are like, what else, what extra are they doing that we are not? Maybe we are even working harder than them, but we are just not getting the medal, or we are just not getting to that. So yeah, there are times that I do compare myself. Okay, what are they doing? What extra? What can we get from them? What can we learn from them actually? So yeah, we do compare, but then it's okay. As I told you, everybody has their own story, and everybody has their own performance, and everybody has their own body type. And so it's like sometimes the performance comes early and sometimes it takes a little time. So it's just, you just need to focus on your body and your performance rather than just, comparing yourself with others, because honestly, everybody has their own story. We cannot compare.
So a very interesting question. But before that, tell me, what's your record? For both triple jump and long.
All right. So my triple jump is my main event, and I I have jumped like 13.17 meters. That was in 2019. I in these trials for World University Games. So that is my personal best performance for triple jump as far. And for long jump, I've jumped 5.88 meters last year at the inter university meet. So
Right. So, Niharika, what happens, especially for the artists and athletes, there's like a peak.
right.
ठीक है. Let's say for an artist वो एक ऐसा गाना रिलीज कर दिया that got a lot of views, lot of likes, lot of appreciation, and then like you know they know that I can't get better than this. और you know उसके बाद और भी बहुत सारे गाने आते हैं and they just don't get that kind of attention.
Right.
Do you have this fear कि what if your personal best is your peak and you know you're not going to get better than whatever is your personal best?
Okay, so actually we do learn a lot of things from all the experience that we've got. There's this age limit for every athlete.
Okay.
Yeah, for example, if we say for a triple jumper like me, most of them have their peak when they are 27 or 28.
Okay.
So yeah, I do get this thing ki, okay, I still have time, but I have to make sure that when my peak performance is going, I should be I should be at that competition, because one competition can change your entire career.
True,
Right.
true.
So I just need to make sure ki when I am at my peak, I have to be in that competition and I have to perform well. So yeah, that is what it's all about, probability, and it's all about, okay, you need to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the peak is yet to come. I'm continuously working on it, and with others, by just looking at other athletes' track record, okay, we can analyze ki okay is time pe aa jayegi peak. So by till then you need to just keep working out and keep yourself.
So I know you have not had like a big injury, but do you fear? Because so I have a friend, like a very close friend. He's a Ranji player.
Okay.
He was supposed to be like in auction of IPL in 2019,
Okay.
but then he got injured, and then
Okay.
from 19 till 2020 end, he was injured. Like he could not play cricket, right? So and now he thinks if he would be able to get back into the world of cricket because he was so close to IPL. So do you fear injury?
Well, I do fear injury sometimes, but then the workout that I've done, the base that my coach have set up for me in terms of workout, so I'm very confident about that. Okay, I can feel my body. Injury is very unpredictable.
Yeah.
It can come anytime.
Yeah.
But we just need to make proper. We just need to be very careful about that. And on the other hand, as I told you, that I have a really strong base, so I'm very confident about myself and my body. Although I do fear it sometimes, but then if I think ki, okay, if I do it with right technique and I'll do it very carefully, so I won't be getting it. But yeah, there's this thing at the back of the mind, but the less you think about it, the better. So yeah.
So the athletics community, like, are they supportive in terms of like, do you talk? Because I know the problems or the challenges you face, probably like your family members may not be able to understand that, and even your, let's say, even your coach, because like every generation has their own challenges, right? So how is the community like for athletics and specifically for triple jump? Are they like supportive? Do you talk regularly? Do you share your challenges?
Well, I think track and field athletics was not as popular if we talk about the 90s,
Okay.
but definitely it has gained a lot of popularity. After Hima Das and Duti Chand, we talk about these big names have done well at a global level. So yeah, I think the community is getting stronger day by day, and I feel that in future it'll get even better, as they are being like really supportive, and since everybody is aware of it now, and we have all these good platforms like social media and stuff, so yeah, we are able to communicate better and talk better, and the awareness has just come. So yeah, I think it's a great advantage for us.
Mhm. So Niharika, for a person who, because I know there's like a lot of competition, for a person who is, let's say, at the age of 18, if they start training right now, do you think they would be able to, be successful in terms of any track event? Because I've seen a lot of people, they start very early, like very very early at the age of
Right.
6 7,
Right.
and then they build up their mental strength, their physical
Right.
strength,
Right.
and those bits and pieces that you talked
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
So what's your thought? A person who is 18 as of now, do you
Okay.
think they can get successful?
Well, I was 16 when I started my career professionally.
Okay.
And as I told you, minimum it takes 8 to 10 years for an athlete to build fully. So if we talk about someone who's starting at the age of 18, yeah, obviously, with all that proper grit and nutrition and proper workout and facilities, he will be able to achieve what he wants and build himself as a good athlete. But it's always the sooner the better. So in terms of at track and field, if if you start at 13 or 14, you will get an early success, you can say. But yeah, if we start a little late, so it will get the success would come, but you have to wait for some time.
For an athlete, like percentage wise, what is the like role of all the factors, like this physical fitness, this mental fitness? So what are the percentages ki physical fitness kitne percentage मायने रखते हैं, and then mental fitness and other factors?
All right, well, it has to be 50-50, because you cannot entirely depend on the physical fitness, or you cannot entirely depend on the mental fitness, because mentally you have to be equally strong as you are physically. So yeah, I think both of them play an important role when it comes to getting that performance. Because if you don't trust yourself, okay, let's say if you're physically fit 100% to achieve something, but you are not mentally fit, you doubt yourself, or you are overconfident, let's say. So I think the performance wouldn't be coming, even if you are 100% physically fit. So I think that plays a really important role. You have to be really stable mentally to get the ultimate performance.
So I was listening to a podcast with Brett Lee, and then he talks about how genetics play a huge role in
Right.
athletics. Like he told that his mom was like a sprint, like she used to sprint 100-meter dash,
Okay.
and like his dad was also like an athlete, and because of that he gets a lot of his fast bowling and everything from his parents, right?
Yeah.
Obviously there's a training plays a huge part. So Niharika, about you, do you are you genetically gifted?
Well, I would say no.
Okay.
Because none of my parents were into sports, and not just my parents, from my entire family, because nobody was ever into sports. So I'm the first one to get it started. Obviously, I think genetics play an important role. If you are already gifted, then again it comes to all those practice and training. If you are gifted and you are not training well, or let's say you are indisciplined, you won't get that kind of success. If you are genetically gifted, you have to be equally okay. You have to acknowledge that okay, you should be grateful that, and you should practice equally hard to get the ultimate performance. So if not, then it's okay, then it will take time. But if you are disciplined and you're training hard, you're working hard, you will get it ultimately.
So what would peak performance for you look like?
All right, so what would I say? 14.11 is the national record, and I'm aiming for that currently.
Okay.
But there are girls who are jumping 1450 and 15 meters. 15.50 is the world record.
Okay.
So yeah, if I talk about myself, somewhere around between 1450 to 15 meters would be my peak performance. But yeah, it's going to take another 2-3 years to get to that. I just need to make some amendments in my technique and stuff. And yeah, then go
So,
on.
like, I have a futuristic question for you. By, let's say, 2040, after your retirement, do you plan to coach young girls or other like people for athletics?
Well, I don't know. I've never been into the coaching stuff as
Okay.
much. Yeah, because I've always been. I don't think I'll ever go into coaching because I'm not sure that the amount of training, the amount of workout, the amount of hard work and other things I'm putting for myself, I will ever be able to give it to somebody
Okay.
else. I really doubt myself for that.
Okay.
But yeah, if got a chance, then why not? Let's see. But right now, I have not thought about it as much.
What are your challenges right now in terms of being being an athlete?
Well, this last year was a terrible one because of the COVID-19. We had to take a break, and it was really challenging for athletes to not go out and
Yeah.
try, all those do the fitness stuff because if you athletics is a process of you have to consistently you have to work on yourself, your body, and you have to maintain that fitness. And if you are not able to, then you'll go like 1 month back or 1 year back
Yeah.
of in terms of training.
Yes.
So it last year was a really tough one because we couldn't go out on our tracks, and there were absolutely no competitions. We had to maintain up fitness as much as we could, just by staying at home. So yeah, we were finding alternatives for doing our trainings stuff. So right now it's I haven't played any competitions. It's been a year or so. So yeah, the biggest challenge would be competing after such a long time.
Yeah, like the mentality
The
and
mentality
the vibe.
and vibe, and yeah, you have to get ready for that. So I'm working on it, and hopefully we'll get it.
So that has happened with a lot of people, especially with pilots, because they used to fly and they have to fly like a few hours every year to make sure that like they are relevant.
Right.
And because of COVID, a lot of pilots they could not fly,
Right.
and because of that, a lot of like technical like glitches and even a few crashes have happened. Like recently, one in Indonesia happened and one in
Yes, right.
Pakistan happened as well.
Right.
So like it's very difficult. So like Niharika, do you feel you have gone back for like 2 years or something because of COVID?
Well, I think I have not, certainly, because if we talk about the good part, then COVID has given us time to improve our our technique, or the thing that you were not able to do well. You might not have got a chance to
Yeah.
improve it with continuous competition sessions. So yeah, with competitions off, you got to work on your weaknesses and stuff. You got time to work on it, and yeah, definitely. I think the other half of 2020, I really worked on my weaknesses and my technical stuff. So I think it has taught me a lot, and I've certainly not got back. Maybe I might have stood where I was, but
Yeah.
I definitely haven't got back from there.
So I'll ask two questions for you. First would be like what's ahead of you? Like what are you looking forward to? What's exciting? And second is what would be your advice to all the young athletes, especially all the women athletes, because the societal norms and their expectations. So what
Right.
would be your advice specifically for young women who are into athletics or who want to get into athletics?
All right. Well, talking about my future plans and stuff. So yeah, I am aiming for Olympics, which would be held in this July. It starts in July.
Tokyo.
Tokyo
Yeah.
Olympics, yeah. So I'm trying to get, I'm trying to get in, and if everything happens well, I will qualify for the Olympics, and but if not, then 2022 Asian and Commonwealth Games for sure. And for the girls who are trying to get into athletics, I would just uh, I would, what would I say? I would just say, just, you know, go what your heart says. Just do what your heart says, and just don't think about everything, because everything else would be fixed, you know, sooner or later. You know, people are talking, they will stop talking eventually, but you need to keep your mind like really focused. If you need to get into athletics, you have to prepare your mind, you know, you have to prepare yourself. Okay, for the next 10 to 12 years I cannot think of anything else, because it's such a disciplined sport, and you have to, you know, keep yourself so much in terms of discipline. You have to keep yourself on track. And talking about the society and other norms, it's okay. I think the world is changing, and
Yeah.
it will eventually. People are being more supportive, but there are some, you know, families who doesn't support this and who don't support it, and they are like, okay, you can do something better. But you know, if you have a you have faith in yourself, you have faith in God, and you feel, okay, this is for me, I can do it, and I am made for this, then one day you'll achieve something, and everybody else would be quiet. They won't have a word to utter. So yeah, just go with it.
Right, Niharika, thank you so much for being on the show. I wish you luck, and I hope to see you in Olympics.
Thank you.
And yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much.